Hey everybody, this is Sparklestorm, and welcome back to the Seven Continent Zoo, where you can travel the world without leaving the country. So today we're going to take a little detour from our habitats and have a look through our exhibit hall. So actually, in looking for a name for this area of the zoo, I learned a new word, vivarium. So this is actually the Vivarium Hall. And in my research, I found the difference between a terrarium and a vivarium. So a terrarium is generally a plant environment that could be sealed in a glass container, but it looks after itself and it has natural elements. Um, Whereas vivariums often use pumps and filters and external light sources to create just the right conditions for animals to live. So we have a number of different types of vivariums in here. There's aquariums, insectariums, so we just call the entire place Vivarium Hall. And so in here we've got our reptiles, amphibians, and insects. And so we've got this little seating area just outside of the walls here, and then let's take a look inside. So for this area of the park, my idea was to have an indoor-outdoor space. So a space that felt like a separate building that housed all of our vivariums, but still felt like you were outside. So very open to the air. And I think that it really did achieve that feel as we walk through here. So let me show you how I started this area of the zoo. So I have the Antarctica path built up a little bit on the left and the Australia path built up on the right. And I just decided to put the exhibit hall in this area between those two pathways. So I started out by just flattening the entire area where the exhibits would go, and then mapping out this path that would just lead through the exhibits, and leaving a great big space in the center for that massive tree that I wanted, because that was the original idea, to have that massive tree in the middle. So leaving a space for that, and then just plunking down a number of exhibits, as many as I could fit in this space. And I just went back and deleted the paths in between each of those exhibits, and then added a staff room and a keeper hut, and also a couple of washrooms and an information booth. So then I just framed out the whole thing with plaster, and that created these very odd shaped buildings. So I thought the best thing to do for the roof would just be to cover it all with a flat plaster roof. So that took a little bit of fiddling to get all of the plaster pieces to line up across the front of these buildings, and to fill in all of the gaps. But I find I really like the plaster pieces because they just blend in together and they don't have that clipping that some of the other pieces have when they overlap. So I knew that I wanted to have this massive, beautiful tree in the middle of this area of the exhibit hall, and I wanted to cover the entire area with these canopies just to create this different kind of light and shadow um, effect throughout, and obviously give this tree enough sunlight that it would need. So I came up with this idea to create this circular piece right that would go directly above the tree. So let me show you how I made that. So I just start with something round. In this case, I used an African bracelet shape, but you can use anything round. And I grabbed a pole, a beam, put it at the angle that I wanted the structure to be at, and then copied one to the other side, putting it at the opposite angle. Grab those two beams and rotate them with the angle snap on until I get all the way around. And then I just grab all of those pieces and group them together. And that's it. Once I get that circular piece in place above where I'm going to be putting the tree, I am just extending those beams out at a slightly different angle to each of the 3 buildings. So I use the same technique where I just put a beam on 2 sides, opposite sides, and copied those 2, rotating them around with the angle snap on, and just deleted any extra that didn't line up with the buildings. And then I grabbed 2 beams and made a triangle shape and just rotated again, copy and rotated those to adjust the angle to match up with the buildings on both sides for the rest of the canopy pieces. I used the black and white canopy originally here, but I did swap that out later for the, I think it's yellow and burgundy, because it just suits the whole theme a little bit better. I find the exhibit boxes themselves to be way too big, and bigger than anything that I've seen in a zoo or a museum. So just to give the illusion of the vivarium being smaller, I built these facades. So I want to show you how I made these. So I'm just gonna pull the pieces apart. Whoops. I'm gonna try without grabbing other things to pull the pieces apart and show you how I built these. So actually, I guess what I'll do is just maybe move the entire piece away first so you can see what's going on behind here. Okay, I'm gonna try this again. All right. Okay. And there, okay. So what we've got back here is our exhibit box and our information stands for our exhibits, exhibit education board, and then I've built this piece to go in front of each of the exhibits. So we've got a false ceiling that just lowers the actual ceiling of the exhibit box, and this wood frame to cover the front, and then a little bit of an extra bumped out section here to hide the exhibit education boards inside. Alright, so here we are back at the entrance to Vivarium Hall, and let's get started with our tour. So we've got this cute little sitting area out here, rest area, and the first thing we see when we enter is this big beautiful tree. I do really like the way that this turned out. I think it is so pretty with this garden around it, and if you just stop right at the right distance here, we've got our branches gently blowing in the breeze. And the light coming through all of our canopy sections are just so pretty. Alright, so let's head this way and we'll see our first exhibit is our tarantula. So this is our Mexican red knee tarantula, and we've got one right down here. You can see how that ceiling, bringing that ceiling down, just, I don't know, gives it a more realistic feel to the size of this tank. It's still really huge for a tarantula, but I think it looks so much better being a little bit smaller. Over here we've got poison frog, the Lehman's poison frog. And we've got one right here on this leaf right out in front. They're super bright, so easy to spot when they're out front, not so much if they're hiding in behind that tree. Okay, moving on, we have our iguana, a green iguana. But she doesn't look very green. there just the one in there? There's probably another one in the back. They're so pretty. Oh, see, there's one in the back that's actually green. So this must be an albino. Whereas we have a green iguana back here. That is so cool. He's just having a shower. Hanging out in that water spout. Okay, so then next we have, oh, our first snake. So it looks like we have our common death adder. Right here in the front is one of them. I really like these deserty biomes. I haven't built anything really deserty yet, so I am tempted to do that next. Okay, over here is the exit from our Vivarium Hall, and this is a little sneak peek into the Antarctica section. So this is a pathway for our Antarctica section of the zoo, and this leads into our ice tunnel. So that will be coming up in the next episode or two, perhaps. So we're not going to head over there. That's all we're going to see of that for now. So we've got over here our information center for information about all of our exhibits, and we have here another spider. So in here we have our Brazilian wandering spider. Let's see if we can spot them. If they're in there, you can probably already see them before me. I have such a hard time spotting anything in these. This one especially. They blend in a little bit more. Okay, and then next we have, well, this is a very popular exhibit. This is our centipede. Yes, our Amazonian giant centipede. Or Amazonian. Not sure. Where are they? They are pretty big. They're usually not hard to spot. Don't tell me it's right in front of me and I can't see it. Nope. Maybe they're back here? No, I still don't see it. Oh, there's one. Right here. Wonder if we can see him from out here. I think he's hiding pretty well. No, he's behind that branch. Okay. So there are a few in there. Not sure where the others are hiding. Over here we have another snake. Our puff adder. And we've got one right here. And another one down here. All right, we have our staff only area built right into our Vivarium Hall. We've got a staff room and a keeper house, a keeper room. And over here we have some washrooms and another exit from the exhibit hall into the Antarctica ice tunnel again. So another way to get out if you want to take the shortcut over to the Antarctica section. So here we've got our frog, our Goliath frog. Let's see. Do we have one back here, or is that a leaf? I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to go in. Huh. Definitely a leaf. And I do not... Okay, I don't know how... Oh, there. Okay, because I don't know how I can miss a Goliath frog. There he is. And I know there's more than one in here, so I think there's another one right here. Okay. Also very camouflaged, at least to me. Okay. Over here we have another snake. Who do we have? We have our western diamondback rattlesnake. Right here in front. Easy to spot. Thank you. And do we have another one? Yes, right here. Oh. Hello. Okay. And just a couple more exhibits. We've got a beetle. We have our Titan beetle, which there should be quite a few of them around. Okay, I actually think it's the cutest thing when insects clean their antenna like that. That was so cute. Oh. Okay, very cute. And we also have... Ooh, our snail, our giant tigerland snail. We have quite a few of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe another one back here. Oh, and it's misting in here right now, keeping their environment nice and humid. And I think that is it. Yes, it is. Okay, so we have finished our tour of the Vivarium Hall. And I'm not sure what's coming up next. I've been working on a few different areas of the park. So we might head over to Antarctica next. We might head up the stairs that you just had a peek of behind me here over to the Australian section. Or we could jump back over to the European section because I am also working on a flamingo habitat over there. So it's going to be a surprise. But thanks very much for joining me today, and bye for now.